Protect your online privacy today at expressvpn.com/inside.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Inside Gaming Daily for Monday. We're clapping. We're clapping, guys. We're clapping today for another former gaming executive spilling some dirt, otherwise known as the lifeblood of this little channel.
According to Shahid Ahmad, who spent a decade at Sony, the PlayStation 4 could have been the end of PlayStation. In some alternate universe, the PlayStation 4 could have failed Sony. What?
Say it ain't so. Yeah, could have burned that whole console thing right to the ground. But all of this is apparently going to be pretty openly discussed as part of an upcoming documentary about PlayStation, according to Video Games Chronicle.
But who has time to wait for a documentary to come out, or even watch a documentary? This is 2020. We are so busy. So line up for your news, slop piggies, because we've got all the dirt you could want.
So today we know the PS4 is the juggernaut console that handedly beat the Xbox One, now, having sold over 110 million units and boasting some of the most well-regarded console exclusives ever made. We love it here. We love the PlayStation here.
Big
We
fans.
only love the PlayStation.
No, don't say that.
The fact that Horizon Zero Dawn is coming to the PC is an affront to my religion.
Back in the early 2010s, turns out that the PlayStation 4 was seen internally at Sony as a huge risk, a risk upon which rested the entire company's hopes and dreams.
Today on Inside Gaming Theater.
Run, PS4. You carry the fate of Sony at your back.
Never ever look back.
Like sand through the hourglass, so too flow the exclusives of our console.
According to Ahmad, who was in the role of director for strategic content until he left the company in 2015, it all has to do with some issues with the PS3. To hear him talk about that period of his company's life is like hearing that one distant uncle talking about Nom. I wonder if he gets the same kind of glassy-eyed gaze off into the distance.
Seriously, when it comes to PlayStation 3, he's quoted as saying because it was an extraordinary piece of hardware, but it was also extraordinarily difficult to get the best out of. And people did, and it did eventually turn into a success, but my God, that was a war of attrition. Wow. God.
Yeah, it's a little bit of trauma.
God
for a
damn.
Well,
PlayStation,
BTS for
it
you.
seems.
And if you're not aware, the PS3 launch wasn't exactly a great look for the company. The console hadn't really come through on its supposed promises of backwards compatibility, and it came out with the exorbitant price tag of $600 here in the US. That was a huge blow to sales.
As a result, the console and subsequently PlayStation fell behind Microsoft and their Xbox 360. Eventually, they pulled it together and finished strong, but as Ahmad points out, that was no small feat.
Yeah, apparently the effort required to make the PS4 succeed fundamentally changed PlayStation from top to bottom. Ahmad said the PlayStation that emerged at the end of the PS3 was a much more gritty, determined, focused entity. And I'm not saying this from a personal perspective, but from a corporate perspective, than the much more hubristic organization at the beginning of the PS3 era.
PlayStation's the Wall Street guy who went on a spiritual journey after the recession and now is really into crystals and meditation. I don't think that's... I think those dudes
that a
just
guy?
ended up... No, those guys just ended up working with me at Costco in 2009. And they were not Zen, I'll tell you. I can
And
tell
they
you
were,
that right
they were
now.
just like, I gotta move this crystal, Patrick.
They were wildly bitter, broken men.
I don't really, money's a social construct. Anyway.
Cool.
But yeah, the company was coming off the success of the PS2, arguably the best console ever made, depending how you look at it. It sold more than 155 million units, and games were released for it all the way up to 2014, post PS4 launch.
You know what
That
my
is-
favorite console of all
insane.
time is?
What's your favorite console of all time, Patrick?
The Mind. I can play all the games I want up here.
Is it backwards compatible?
That's right. I can go back in time to my memories.
Grade school, I was like, if I memorize the whole of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, the movie, I won't ever have to watch it, and I can just watch it in my head on the bus.
So anyways, that's an astonishing lifespan, and PlayStation thought that they could do no wrong, even heralding the PS3 as a 10-year console.
The 10-year cut.
The decade of PlayStation reigns.
Bicentennial console.
The sun will not set on our empire for another 10 years. Of course, people will pay $600 for our box. We're PlayStations.
If pride and hubris were the driving forces for the PS3's development, sounds like the PS4 were an exercise in honesty and self-deprecation.
The stakes for the PS4 were extremely high because with the second dud in a row, Sony very well could have pulled the plug on the entire operation. Ahmad said, "We'd been through the fire with the PS3 and now everything was on the line. We had to get this right, and if we didn't, it could have been the end.
So, yikes. Yeah, it's hard to imagine here in the future where the PS4 is one of the console greats, but if it weren't handled correctly, we would likely be looking at a very different gaming landscape. Speaking of landscapes, how's the bush in those pants of yours looking? Is it a little bit wild? Well, don't fret, because with Manscaped, you can whack those weeds with no problem. Summer is in full action, and we're thankful for our sponsor today, Manscaped, for keeping us fresh. Sun's out, bum's out, hopefully your pubes aren't out either. Manscaped offers all the right tools to keep your hair groomed above and below the belt. Manscaped is dedicated to helping you level up your full body grooming game. They actually just released their Shears 2.0 nail kit, which is the perfect add-on to their Lawnmower 3.0 or Perfect package. The Shears 2.0 is a luxury 4-piece nail kit featuring tempered stainless steel tools, and it includes slash-tipped tweezers, rounded point scissors, fingernail clippers, and a medium grit nail file. You're probably wearing flip-flops a lot this time of year, and you don't want people seeing those nasty unclipped toes you got. No one likes ungroomed sets of feet and fingers, and most importantly, balls. That's why they've forever changed the grooming game with their Perfect Package 3.0. The Perfect Package 3.0 kit comes with the essential Lawnmower 3.0, water-resistant cordless body trimmer, and a ton of other liquid formulations to round out that manscaping routine. This is the best trimmer on the market for those of you in need of like a chest shave and maybe just like a quick little ball cleanup. This 3rd generation trimmer features skin-safe technology to reduce manscaping accidents, and believe you me, that is not the area you want to be nicking places. Inside the Perfect Package, you'll also find the Manscaped Crop Preserver, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer, because we all know how painful chafing can be when you're wearing a bathing suit all day. You don't want that. Come on, it's the summer. It's about the long games, the endurance. You'll also find the Crop Reviver, a testy toner that's designed to give you a little pep in your step. You just go subscribe to the Perfect Package and you get a new blade refill for your lawnmower trimmer and delivered to your door every 3 months. And for a limited time, subscribers can get 2 free gifts: the Shed Travel Bag, a $39 value, and the patented high-performance reduced chafing Manscaped boxer briefs. Deadass, I didn't even plan this. I'm literally wearing those right now. I'm serious. Like, do you see that? Manscaped. I walk the walk. I don't just talk here. Get 20% off free shipping with the code INSIDE20 at manscaped.com. Do yourself a favor and always use the right tools for the job, bro. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code INSIDE20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code INSIDE20. Summer is here. It's time to manscape.
So back to the PlayStation. It's hard to believe that the company responsible for bringing us the PS4, along with games like The Last of Us Part 2 and God of War, might have disappeared. But you have to look at
PlayStation as a part of a larger corporation.
Consoles are often sold initially at a monetary loss, and the PS4 was no different. If it were to flop, Sony would be well within its rights to act accordingly, hence the risk. It's also helpful to remember the disparity in size between the leading console makers.
one is 6'5".
Yeah, Sony is valued by some to have a net worth just short of $100 billion. It's not bad. Whereas Microsoft is reportedly worth $1 trillion. And that's TikTok buying money. But, is $1 trillion really that much these days? I mean...
So naturally, Sony is going to act in its best financial interests. Of course, the PS4 was an enormous hit and made them a ton of money, providing Sony with billions of reasons to keep them around.
But the PS4's positive reception was not a matter of luck. According to Ahmad, the newly humbled PlayStation approached the console's development with
players in mind and consulted with all parts of the industry.
He said partners were there, developers were involved, even independent developers were involved in the launch of the PS4.
Steve from accounting, he was also involved.
Tom Petty, George Harrison.
The guy from Stained.
So the PS4 was a success. Everyone made a lot of money. Way to go, guys. Pop the champagne, let's go home. We did it. Console wars are over. We won. That's what they said, right? No, it's not. Hold on, because isn't PlayStation releasing a new console? Rumored to be far more expensive than its predecessor, and wasn't that predecessor a smash hit on levels we haven't seen since the PS2?
Oh no, watch out, PlayStation. That ambiguous cloud of hubris and pride is headed right towards you.
So, concerning the price tag, there's only so much PlayStation can do. We don't have an exact number, but Bloomberg reported the manufacturing cost to be around $450 per unit on account of part scarcity, namely DRAM and NAND flash memory.
There have also been reports of an expensive cooling system in the new console. I wonder if it'll turn blue when it's as cold as the Rockies, because Inside Gaming only games with an ice-cold Coors Light in hand.
Can't game without a cold crispy. So concerning hubris, though, we can't help but wonder if PlayStation is setting itself up for another PS3. So from what we've heard and what's been reinforced by the company's most recent State of Play presentation, PlayStation is sticking with the plan that made PS4 such an achievement, making it look cool and angular.
Make a box, and then make great first-party titles that play exclusively on said box. It's hard to blame
them considering the love the PS4 garnered over its lifespan.
In a moment when gaming is becoming progressively more decentralized and software is gaining momentum, is PlayStation putting too many of its eggs in one basket?
You gotta diversify your egg load.
Your egg folio. It worked before, so it'll work now is an easy line of thought to fall into for people and corporations alike. I'm sorry, corporations are people too. Wow. This is embarrassing. PlayStation, I see you, and I'm sorry.
Speaking of dreadful console launches that led to enormous internal change, why don't we switch gears and talk about the Xbox for a sec? So, following their own PS3 moment, Xbox went through a series of measures to hopefully ensure that it would never happen again. For Microsoft, this meant cleaning house and appointing Phil Spencer, friend of the show, to lead the company. Father, Daddy Phil Spencer did turn that ship around. He literally walked into the doors of Microsoft and said, I will turn this multi-billion-dollar company around.
And much like PlayStation, this seems to have resulted in a much more
Humbled, player-focused company, meaning
Xbox could be an even more powerful adversary in the coming console generation.
As we've reported many times on this very show, Xbox is putting less stock in its physical console this time and focusing on softwares like Game Pass and xCloud rather than just on their console, the Xbox Series X.
Spencer said in the past he doesn't see Sony as Xbox's main competition, but rather Amazon and Google. And while many have speculated that the console wars are over, it would truly be over if PlayStation were to suffer enough losses to close its doors.
Of course, this is all speculation, and PlayStation has proven itself capable of overcoming less than stellar console launches, so we don't expect them to go anywhere anytime soon.
All the same, it's pretty shocking to consider that that could have actually happened.
Don't want to think about that possibility. Oh no!
Oh, there you go. Very good. Very good.
Christ.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Inside Gaming Daily for Monday. The weekend's over. Back to the grind, you drones. It's time to talk about the PlayStation 5, which might be here sooner rather than later. Patrick with the story.
That's right, Connor. We're getting some leaks that the pre-orders for the next-gen console might be coming soon.